Hey guys, it's been a minute since I've done an update on the Idaho 4 case, and it's just over a month now to Bryan Kohberger's preliminary hearing, so there's a bunch of motions coming out. I'm not too interested in the gag order. I don't think the judge is going to budge on that, to be honest. And I'm also not interested in the love letters that Bryan Kohberger has been receiving. You never know, maybe I'll do a video. When it's a slow news day, I may do a video on Bryan Kohberger's love letters. I did one on Chris Watts, I remember. And some people like that, so yeah, maybe one day. But this is much more important. So this came out on the 4th of May. And this is Bryan Kohberger's attorney requesting stuff that has not been given. Let's read this. So Bryan C. Kohberger, by and through his attorney, Anne C. Taylor, public defender, blah, 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 hereby moves the court to order the state to comply with the defendant's first request for discovery files and the defendant's second request for discovery files. So February and March, they requested these things. As of the 4th of May, these things are still outstanding. All right, so let's see these. As of May 4th, 2023, counsel for Mr. Kohberger has not received the requested materials. All body cam and dash cam footage from officers involved in the search and arrest of Bryan Kohberger in Pennsylvania. All of this, they're looking for loopholes and things, but hey, what else? All lab testing, including photographs and colour diagrams and bench notes, included but not limited to copies of lab reports detailing the forensic evidence collection and analysis of items recovered at Bryan Kohberger's parents' home, trash bins, other receptacles, and Bryan Kohberger's car, his Elantra, not received. All lab testing, including photographs, colour diagrams, bench notes, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So that's for the Idaho State Police and FBI forensic labs, including lab reports 11 and 25. They're still outstanding. All notes recordings from all officers from Moscow PD, not received. Not received recordings and notes from the interrogation of Mr. Kohberger by MPD Detective Payne. And then also all police reports, audio, video evidence, and any recorded statements related to Bryan Kohberger's arrest and incarceration in Pennsylvania. And then the second request for discovery, all notes, recordings, and photos. I'm not sure what that's relating to. I guess it's relating to everything. On information and belief, counsel believes these materials contain exculpatory evidence. Hoo-hoo. All right, and then training records of specific officers. Okay, so the state has responded in two documents here. Let's do this one first. This is the longer one. All right, the state's response. The state of Idaho, through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, submits the following response to motion to compel discovery. All right, so by way of background, as of the date of this response, the state has provided the following discovery to the defendant, because they don't want to be in trouble for this, because, yeah, the defence worked this really well in the Barry Morphew case. So this is important stuff. The prosecutors have got to get this right. All right, so they've already given them 10,000 pages of reports and other written materials, 10,200 photographs, okay, over 9,000 tips, and approximately 51 terabytes of audio and video media and digital materials. That's a lot. That's a lot of bytes. A terabyte is a lot of bytes. 51 terabytes, that's a lot. Now, obviously, video materials, especially high quality video materials, eats up bytes, eats them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, and every snack going. A lot of this will be video media. So they were doing all that really high quality stuff in the house. That will have eaten up all the bytes available. But the defence is still finding that some things have not been delivered. But let's be specific here. With the above in mind, the state respectfully submits the following specific responses. The state has disclosed all items it is aware of relating to the search and arrest of Bryan Kohberger in Pennsylvania. The state is unaware of any body cam and dash cam footage beyond what has been disclosed, and on information and belief understands there is no body cam footage. What? The state is unaware of any body cam and dash cam footage beyond what has been disclosed. Well, because we don't know what they've already given, we can't work out what's missing. But then it says, understands there's no body cam footage. So does that mean that no officers, because there was like, 50 officers who went and stormed Bryan Kohberger's parents' home? Do you remember? It was like 50. Like the boys through all the windows and the doors simultaneously. It was like this big thing. Not one of them had a body cam on. I'm finding that hard to believe, but okay. Recordings of interviews and defendants' transportation from the scene have also been provided. So I think that's the important thing here, beyond what has been disclosed. So it leads me to believe that they've disclosed some body cam, but then understands there is no body cam. I don't get that. Numerous lab reports regarding forensic evidence collection, analysis of items recovered from the defendant's parents' home, trash cans, other receptacles and defendant's vehicles have been disclosed to the defendant. So they've got that. They're saying, look, we've given all we've got. So it's obviously in the 51 terabytes and you've not looked through it all. Maybe that's what they're trying to say in a polite way. These reports include items from the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, as well as the Idaho State Police Lab. The defendants, attorneys and investigators have also been given direct access to view and inspect items seized from his parents' residence, including his vehicle. The state will continue to disclose additional reports it receives that are subject to discovery, to the extent that the defence believes that certain reports may contain exculpatory information. The state asks that the defence specify what exculpatory information they are referring to and the basis for their belief. Yeah. So to enable the state to make appropriate additional inquiries. Well, I guess the defence will say, well, we don't know what we don't know. We're just going to try it on. We're going to try it on for size. You know, we know this is a high-profile case. Let people believe that the state's holding back evidence. You see, this Nancy Taylor chick, she's clever. She's not got in her high-up position for just shits and giggles. She's not. And she's trying to make a name for herself. She's going to try to get Kohberger off this, whether it takes a technicality or whether it takes it all the way to trial and then get him off. She's trying every little trick up her little sleeve. Yeah, throw it back at him, state. That's good, that. Throw it back at him. Regarding the defendant's request labelled 2A, in addition to the above response, the state has inquired of the defence for clarification on ISP lab reports by number, since there is a question about some duplicate numbering of the initial lab reports. ISP crime reports are separately numbered by forensic biology, DNA, prints and forensic field services. The state has already been able to advise Defence Counsel that there is an ISP Lab Report 25 which has been discovered, and there's another ISP Lab Report 11 which is pending review and approval at the lab. So they've already got number 25, the one that they were asking for. Number 11 is pending. To assist the parties, the state has initiated specific inquiries about the status of all ISP lab reports and will make discovery to defence as appropriate. All right, so they can only give the defence what they've received. And if lab report 11 is still pending for them, then the defence can't have it yet. So they're just going to have to be patient. Sit on your hands, Nancy Taylor. The state has provided recordings of MPD Detective Payne's interview with Bryan Kohberger to the defence. The date was right. So they've provided that. Right, this 51 terabytes, Nancy Taylor and team, you need to look more closely because you've got this stuff. You've got it. what you think you don't have maybe just doesn't exist, or it only exists in your mind. Maybe that's going on here. As with item 1 above, the state has provided the defence with reports, audio, video, and other recordings. So they've got that as well. State has provided a copy of the report memo referring to request 161. Right, so unaware of anything else, state requestfully submits the training records of are outside the scope, so you're just going to have to wait for that outside the scope. You'll know that it's outside the scope. Again, you're just trying it on. The state is willing to reconsider its position upon a proffer by the defendant as to each officer under ICR 16B, showing substantial need of preparation for the defence case, additional material information, blah, blah, blah. In the event of such a showing, the state asks that court enters such protective orders may be necessary and appropriate to protect the confidentiality of the personnel records. Yeah, you see, that can't be put in the discovery without redactions. So, whatever. All right, next one. This is only a short one. So, State of Idaho, by and through the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney, and submits the following response to defendant's third supplemental request for discovery. The state incorporates Jan 23rd, Feb 21, and March 29. Okay, the state has and will continue to provide discovery in accordance with applicable law. In regard to specific requests for standard lab discovery, the state has already provided the defence with everything it has received from the FBI lab. The state also provides the defence with approximately 30 reports from the Idaho State Police Lab. The state has provided the Idaho State Police Lab with a copy of the defence's standard lab discovery comprised of paragraphs 1 through 10 and will supplement discovery as appropriate. With regard to the defense request for genetic genealogy testing and search, the state objects and intends to separately file a motion on limine a motion for protective order under ICR 16.1, as will be more fully detailed in said motion. The state believes that the defendant's requested discovery is outside the scope and does not tend to negate the guilt of the accused as to the offence charged, or tends to reduce punishment for the offences contemplated. It's not relevant, it's not material to the preparation of the defence, it is not intended for use by the state as evidence at trial, and none of the documentation is being sought belongs to the defendant. Okay, genetic genealogy research does not constitute reports of examination and exempt. So any genetic genealogy research they did, so this would be things like looking at family trees and stuff like that, DNA from family trees. So not DNA, right? Not the DNA that was found on the knife sheath or anything like that. This is specifically in relation to genetic genealogy testing. So there you go. Not DNA, genetic genealogy. All right, so the only confusing thing for me is the body cam. When they say there's no body cam and then they say we've disclosed some of the body cam. I'm confused by that. I think the defence, honestly, are trying it on. They're saying, exculpatory evidence, you're hiding it in the... And you've got 51 terabytes and you clearly have not looked through it all yet. And see Taylor, get your minions on it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.